Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elizabeth and today I'm going to be discussing the Virgo Pisces Axis. These are the last two of the zodiacal wheel that I will be covering. Virgo and Pisces cover they rule the 6th and the 12th house. They are both mutable signs. They're both feminine signs as well. Virgo is earth and Pisces is water. They both deal with service. Some keywords for Virgo would be intellectual, analytical, critical, helpful, conscientious, reserved, the healer, body expert, the specialist. And for Pisces, some keywords would be also the healer, the artist, the dreamy, the impressionable, the perceptive, the intuitive, the sensitive, the Virgo sun. If you have a Virgo sun, like in your life, friend, child, partner, you would know that Virgos have a reputation for being a perfectionist. They can be a little bit neurotic. They're very good with their fingers, like typing, piano playing, guitar, knitting, crocheting, gardening. They can be very particular, very fastidious about things. If you're a Virgo sun and you were a child, you probably didn't have to be told to keep your room clean. You probably had a way that you wanted it in order from the get-go. Virgo suns are very hardworking. They have a love of knowledge and know-how. They have like a purity of spirit. There's a little bit of an innocence there. Virgo is a sign of the Virgin, so they do like kind of the natural. Keeps Virgo self-sufficient and self-contained. They are sensitive to their surroundings, and they can be quite a nervous creature. They want to do things well. Anything that they do, they want to do it well. And they pay attention to like the tiny details. Now a sun in Pisces. The sun in Pisces. Now this is the last sign in the zodiac. And it is said that the sun in Pisces, sorry, I'm tripping over my tongue there, contains a little bit of experience from all the other signs. And this gives them the ability to identify with lots of different walks and backgrounds of life. So I think that's, like in some way, I think that's a real gift to have. I think it's definitely we would all probably do well to embody that kind of energy of being able to deal with all wakes of life. I feel, but of course that's just my opinion. Pisces sun, they can sometimes seem to like to live in a state of apparent disarray, disorder. Remember the sign of the fishes, one going up, one going down, the conscious, the unconscious, they're not going in the same direction. So they can appear that way. Suffering sometimes in a Piscean life is glamorized in a Piscean world. Unlike a Virgo likes, really clear-cut corners. Pisces, they like things to flow. They like the edges a little blurred. With a Pisces sun, they flow in and out of things. They can be a little bit wishy-washy at times. It's a very spiritual and sensitive sign. Sensitive to criticism from others and from themselves. So that can sometimes lead them into escapism or, self-pity. That would be like a shadow side, which, we all have different shadow sides in each sign. So moving on to the houses. So the 6th house is the house that Virgo rules. So in the 6th house, this is the house of service. This is your lifestyle management house. Lifestyle management, your health, your hygiene, nutrition, diet, exercise, health covering physical, emotional, mental, psychological. It's your day-to-day, your work routines. It is the busy bees of the zodiac here in this area. It's a very busy area of the chart. The thing about the 6th house is not to push yourself too hard, because if you push yourself too hard, you'll end up with a sore belly. A lot of people with a lot of planets in the 6th house that don't know how to make sure they're in balance, fill their cup full before they give to all others, end up going down the road of IBS or IBD, at worst case Crohn's. So you have to be very aware of that. People with a lot of planets in the 6th house can be really critical of themselves and very critical of other people too. So that is something they have to be aware of. They're sensitive to a lot of toxins in the outside world as well, not just like within in their own world, but like the world at large. So those are some things around the 6th house. They are very busy. The 12th house, this is the area of the unconscious. The unconscious, the dreams, the vision, the idea, places where things are hidden. It's the transcendent, the dissolving, the endings. It's about everything that you can't see. It's where you know things about things, you just know things about things, but you don't know how, you just know them. People with a lot of planets in the 12th house, they like to, go for walks by the seaside or long walks in the forest. They're very comfortable with being on their own. It can be an area of solitude. And escapism. The solitude would be self-imposed, like a hermit or a monk or a nun. So let's move to the moons. The first we'll do the Virgo moon. So a Virgo moon, this is a great position for the moon. It's very industrious here. It's always on the go. They make great farmers. Restaurant owners, supermarket managers. It's the idea of nurturing the world. They are effective and focused. They're very logical, efficient, detailed, analytical, and they're very fussy people as well. Fussy as hell. Very difficult for a moon in Virgo to relax, to get them to just, take some time and chill out. They like to be on the go. They're very good at keeping all things going. They're like the engine room of the house or the engine room of the office. They like to put a little bit into everybody's lives and just keep everything going and then make sure it all flows. Now the moon in Pisces, the moon in Pisces has a good reputation in most astrology books or teachings. It's shown, that it's the unconscious, it's the deep seas, it's a subconscious, and then they talk about the moon and how the moon rules our emotions and feelings. So you would think that Pisces and moon would be good, but That's not always the case. It can be having the moon there people can have a great difficulty with setting emotional boundaries. So they're like people that have this moon in Pisces. They can be like a walking sponge. They just soak up everything from everybody. They have no filters, and they're just they're too sensitive. So they really need to learn to discharge every day. Once a day, they've got to take time for themselves. Otherwise, they become like a fuse box with too much energy, passing through it. The moon in Pisces wants to be the mother to the world. At its deepest, it can get very dark. It can be very despondent, go into escapism and self-pity. But often if this happens, because with the moon in Pisces, the pendulum swings, they go down only to see it, feel, deal, and when they come up, they've self-empowered themselves, and then they empower others to do the same. So that is a real gift for being able to go into the deep. That reminds me kind of the Scorpio moon. A little bit different in the intensity, but similar. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know that I've ever read that anywhere, but it is what I feel around that. I would say the Pisces moon is more gentile for sure. They also have a big love of animals. And they have a big love of animals because animals love you unconditionally. And, that's part of Pisces. Now, the moon in... so the moon in the 12th house. You have to take that time to discharge. Okay, so let's go to the rising signs, Virgo rising and Pisces rising. Again, the rising sign is how the world sees you. It's how you are the mask you put on when you walk out the front door. Virgo risings, they're really generally good with their fingers. Virgo risings are often more Virgonian than a sun or a moon. A Virgo rising wants to be seen for being effective and efficient, and appreciated for being focused and sharp. It can also be over-detailed, analytical, and sometimes they just don't know when to stop thinking. There is generally an intellectual and reserved aura about these people. When you first meet them, they like to analyze a situation or people before they warm up to them. They're, again, that nervous creature type energy. Some people can receive that as being, standoffish or cold, but it's once you get to know them, it all softens out. They tend to worry a lot, especially if they're confronted with a new situation. It really makes them uncomfortable. They notice the tiniest details that most people would miss. It's not uncommon for a Virgo rising to attract in people in their lives who need help. And in doing so, their relationships can sometimes be confusing. They don't always see their partners or partnerships clearly because of that. Virgo risings, they're quite charming, and they have a lot to offer people. The criticalness that they can sometimes have can push people away. So they have to be and it's not out of a need to, they just want to help. They want to, just show you a better way because they think they know the better way. And they very well could be right, but unless somebody is asking your opinion, sometimes Virgos can just, keep talking on about, try this, so. And I'm familiar with that. I do have Virgo in my chart, and I can see where I've done that. I'm not a Virgo rising, but I recognize that. Sometimes I stop myself mid-sentence when I'm doing things, realizing, did they ask? So that's a good thing to keep in mind. Pisces rising. Physically, Pisces risings can have really big eyes. They can often, they take everything in, and they flow with everything. This is a thought. This came through in the class that Steve was teaching, and I loved it with Pisces rising. And a Pisces rising is somebody that brought this to Steve's attention. Going with the flow. So for a Pisces, it's not so much going with the flow as flowing with the go. And I think that's beautiful. That it just puts a tiny little twist on it, just a change of perspective. And it's directing your own current. It's like being in the flow, but directing your own current. And I think that's a real, what's the word I'm looking for here? Can't think of it at the moment. It's just very advantageous, right? Anytime life gets in a disarray, when you go with the flow, that's great. But if you can flow with the go, that's just adds a whole new layer to it. At least that's how I see it. That's how I felt when I heard that. Pisces risings can sometimes dictate a way of being productive, especially in terms of the artistic, the atmospheric. They like creating ambiance around them. Pisces rising is not functional like Virgo. It's more decorative and flowing. They have an ability to kind of move the circumstances of their life so that everything works out for them. And then kind of just go, oh, did I do that? They've got like that little bit of an innocent, not sneaky, innocent, but you're like, and they knew all along they were going to do it, but you didn't catch on. Kind of that idea. So next we'll look at the midheaven. Now a Virgo midheaven is complete opposite of a Pisces midheaven. If you're a Virgo midheaven or know someone, you'll know that you seek or they seek to be efficient and professional. They're very tidy. They have in their image or in their reputation. You pride yourself on the ability to turn in a good job. It's very important to you. You have a very strong work ethic. You're very focused, sharp, efficient, effective. You're good at compartmentalizing. I didn't say that very well, sorry. And very good at producing things. You're not always comfortable being in the limelight. And you have to watch out for taking on more than your share. Again, doing too much for others. That's a real shadow side of Virgo. Remember, pouring from a full cup means your cup's full and you pour from the excess. Pisces midheaven, the outside world, they're going to see you on the surface or appear to be as like wide-eyed and innocent, just like, what? The world might think that and they might think that you believe anything, but that's the impression they'll get, but it's not true, but it is the impression. Pisces midheaven is open to anything. Your preference can be to intuit things, to feel things. And in doing so that way, it can really baffle people. You bring adaptability and flexibility to your career or your goals, your responsibilities and your reputation. Industries that would be good for you, are well suited, can be service, it can be drama, it can be dance, it can be animals, spirituality, the artistic. You're very good at portraying the aesthetics and the artistic and the subtle and the refined. For a Pisces midheaven, no matter what that you do, you'll always want to try to bring some kind of artistic element and flow to your work. That will always be important to you. Okay, so there's just a little bit about Pisces and Virgo. I just wanted to end, because this is the last one on the signs, I just wanted to end with a reminder of the signs are how the energies come through you, and the houses is how it comes through you in the outside world. A sign is how you're seen as behaving, or your sign is how you behave, and in the house, it's how you're seen as behaving. So that is the end for all of the signs and the houses. It'll be interesting to see, even a year from now, I might come back and review these, redo them, break them down even more. I'm not sure. I will see. This vlogging has been good because it helps me, really tap into what I'm learning. I'm at 22 minutes, and it's so hard to get this into small condensed pieces because it's just so vast, and but it's great. So I will be back soon with my next video, and I am now on my second module, so I will be doing my next video on the planet Mercury. And I look forward to it. Mercury's the planet of communication, among other things. So I hope to see you back here soon. Thank you. Bye for now.